There's nothing I'm like, I hate this so much.
Good. I feel like that would be alarming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe the new hair.
Hi, welcome back to TV Debris. Today we're going to be looking at Love is Blind Season 8, Episode 7. We're going to follow up with little Daniel and Taylor and make sure he didn't follow her all the way here. Let's get started. So we start off back in Taylor's hotel lobby, and Daniel is pretty much just trying to reassure her that even if he had followed her in the past, he came into this blind and didn't put two and two together that he had seen Taylor before. He lets her know that if he had any inclination that he knew her or had seen her, he would have absolutely told production and wouldn't have kept going on with this. He said he would feel like he cheated the system and that he hopes she knows that that's not the type of person that he is. But Taylor still seems wary. Something within her gut is really telling her that they've seen each other before. So a member of production comes over and is like all sly about it. They're like, Taylor, if you need the answers that you need, we are willing to give you your phone right now. And she says, yeah, and takes her phone because apparently she has some kind of app where you can track who unfollowed you, which that's a whole nother thing I won't even get into. Production gives her phone, and they're sitting there, and she says, does anybody have the Wi-Fi? And nobody responds for a minute, so her and Daniel at the same time go Bueller. She goes through her little unfollower app, and she doesn't see him at all. The only thing she really says is, oh, I've lost a lot of followers. That's very humbling. But no, she doesn't see Daniel on there at all. Then she's all upset because she says, like, it pans over to just a shot of her talking to production. And she says that she can only imagine the way that he was feeling while riding over to meet her. She said there's probably like 1,000 things that were going through his mind at that time. And she starts tearing up and says that she's just crazy and that she really, really appreciates how patient Daniel is. Then it goes back over to their discussion, and Daniel asks her where they go from there. Taylor says that she's not sure, and Daniel says, well, where he's at is that he would absolutely love to go to Honduras with her, but if she's not feeling up to that, he will always go back to home with her. He just wants to go wherever she's going, and that the choice is totally up to her. So it was really sweet on his part. I mean, you could tell he was anxious. Maybe that's why his body language was giving, like, I'm not really sure if he knows he followed her or not, because he just seemed a little stiff. But, I mean, like she said, his brain was probably in a million different places. He probably thought she was going to break it off, be like, you weren't what I was expecting when you came out of the doors. I don't want to do this. Taylor said that right now it looks like they're probably going to Honduras together, so I'm sure we'll see more of them. I have a feeling that this Honduras trip is going to be a little bit of a slow burn until everybody meets each other, so I'm not sure how much there will be to recap in this episode. But we start off with Devin and Virginia, and they're sitting out on the balcony, and Devin has, like, I think a couple sleeves, pretty much a leg sleeve started, and Virginia says, oh, I can see all your tattoos now, and Devin starts showing him off, and he shows her his leg, and he's like, oh, and this is all my cartoons, and Virginia's like, oh, do you still watch cartoons? And you can see there's, like, Dragon Ball Z and stuff in there, so a little bit of anime tattoos going on. And she goes, do you still watch cartoons? And Devin says no. And it's like, damn, I hope he does. I hope he's lying about it. Then she asks him if he plays video games. And he's like, do you play video games? So I know he does. He has to. And she says no. But yeah, the way he flipped that question, I was like, he absolutely plays video games and she is going to hate it. I feel like there's like a lot of women who just really can't stand when their partner plays video games. And Virginia's kind of striking me as that type. I'm not sure that she's the type of chick that will just sit back and play with him or go about doing her own hobbies or what she enjoys to do to relax. I feel like she really probably doesn't like them. Let the guy play his video games. Then they talk about how they both are very pleased with the way that the other one looks. Devin kind of fishes for a compliment from her a little bit. He says that she looks great for her age, and in Virginia's little video confessional, she says that she's really, really attracted to him. Then we're moving on to the next couple. Next, we have Lauren and Dave, and I really don't even know why they included this clip. It is so stupid. So Lauren's sitting there and she's like, "Oh, I got my nails redone. They're a bit more purple than I thought they would be, but it's okay." And Dave's like, "They look nice." And she goes, "And I got a bikini wax. And the woman who gave me the wax said that I can't have sex or do any working out for the next 24 hours." And I was really bummed about that. And that's literally it. That's their whole scene. I don't know if there's going to be some issue with that later, that she got a wax and now they can't do nothing, but I have no clue why that was even included. What is this episode? What even is this? So we go to Sarah and Ben next, and they're standing in their hotel room. They pop some champagne. Ben tells Sarah that he used to be a bartender at a country club. Then they go over and stand in front of a mirror again and just stare at themselves. And Ben's like, "We should make this a tradition where we just stop and stand in front of every mirror and pose." And it's like, okay. I mean, I understood when they first met each other, the looking in the mirror thing, but now it's like, this is getting, why do you guys keep staring at yourself in the mirror? It's getting odd. And Ben says, "This is going to be all of our future pictures, all of our Christmas cards. They're all going to look like this." And Sarah's like, "I love that." And it goes into a confessional with her, and she says that she can't get enough of Ben. She's really, really into him. I apologize if you hear any background noise. My dog is really, really restless today. We jump on over to Taylor and Daniel in their hotel room, and they're just unpacking. He's setting all his little sunglasses up on the dresser, and Taylor talks about how she wishes she could listen to some Taylor Swift while they unpack. Then Taylor brings up that she gets a Christmas ornament everywhere she goes so that she can pull them out at Christmas time, and when she puts them on the tree, she could think of all the vacations that she's gone on and all the places she's seen. So they agree that they got to try to find an ornament in Honduras. Then Daniel says he's going to the bathroom, and when he comes out, Taylor's like, "Wash your hands!" And that's it for their clip. Next, we're with Monica and Joey, and they're sitting down at dinner, and Monica makes the Tarzan comment again about Joey's hair. Joey lets her know that he's left-handed, and Monica's like, "Oh yeah, love that." And then Monica brings up that she was really insecure and nervous about her height because she's 5'10". She was like, "Oh my God, I didn't want him to look at me and be like, oh geez, look at this lady." He's like, "No, I'm 6'1", like your perfect height." Then they talk about how in the date where Monica was trying to teach Joey her dad's dance move through the wall, he was like, "That's where I really knew that I was into you." And he's like, "I could tell you were really over there doing it." And she's like, "Yeah, I overcommitted so much that I was out of breath." And they said that date for them was the moment that both of them really realized that, like, this is the person they're going to choose during this experiment, and this is who they're going to get engaged to. We're back over with Lauren and Dave, and they're in the pool room of the hotel, and Lauren feels there's a big pool and then a little jacuzzi, and she feels the jacuzzi and is like, "Oh, this one's hot. That's what we want." And then it shows them in the pool anyway and not the jacuzzi. So I really don't know why that was kept in there. They're sitting in the pool and I don't know. It's just really awkward and uncomfortable. It feels like there's some kind of just like weird tension. I guess it's because Lauren is so nervous, but it's weird. And she even at one point says to Dave, "On a scale of 1 to 10, how awkward am I being?" And he's like, "You're not being awkward at all." And I'm just sitting over here thinking, my vote is a 10. I vote that you're being 10 awkward. Then they have a kiss, and she talks about how she keeps having to remind herself that they're engaged and she's just chilling with her fiance. We move over to Taylor and little Daniel, and they're sitting in a hot tub too. It looks like theirs is like attached to the room balcony or something. It looks a lot nicer than where Lauren and Dave were. And they talk about how sometimes they look away when the other one talks because it kind of brings them back into the pod. And they're so much more used to hearing each other's voices than physically seeing each other. Production has a little sidebar with Daniel, and he says that he fell in love with the Taylor he talked to, not the Taylor he's physically seeing now. At one point, we get a nice shot of them holding the classic gold cups, and then they go to bed. So not too much to comment on. Sarah and Ben are also getting ready for bed. Ben brings up that he brought a box fan with him, and Sarah says, "How much room did you have in your luggage?" And he goes over and pulls out like it's like a little Honeywell fan, like it's a tiny guy. And as he's lifting it up to show her, he smacks one of the gold cups and launches it across their little nightstand. Monica and Joey are getting ready to go to bed, and they ask each other if the other one snores and things like such as that. And Monica apparently has to sleep with a white noise machine going. She said she's such a light sleeper that if she hears any noise whatsoever, it will wake her up out of a dead sleep. But she tells Joey that if the white noise bothers her, she can turn it off, bothers him, she can turn it off and jam earplugs in her ears, which I don't know how somebody could sleep with earplugs in. Oh my God. I guess you probably get used to it, but the thought of that is like, ugh. They talk about how their connection is just as strong, if not stronger, as it was in the pods, and that surprises them. There's not much to work with the next two couple clips, so I'm just going to combine them both. We see Devin and Virginia laying down, and she talks about how she puts Aquaphor on her face at night, and Devin says that that's what he uses for his tattoos, and that he didn't know that you could put it on your face. And then he tells her that he could look at her forever. And then we move over to Dave and Lauren tells Dave that she knew that the emotional connection was going to be there, but she's really glad that this is falling into place too. So I'm guessing she's saying she's also physically attracted to Dave. And then they just kind of spend like a solid 2.5 minutes making out in bed. Maybe I shouldn't even say making out. Kissing in bed, and I don't know, for them saying how comfortable they are with each other, every scene we've seen so far, I feel an awkward tension. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel it. It's the next morning, and Devin and Virginia head on down to get some massages, and then they take a walk on the beach where Devin tells Virginia that when he thinks of their relationship, he thinks easy because it's easy to hold her hand, easy to talk to her, and easy to love her. And Virginia says that whenever he tells her he loves her, her heart skips a beat. So we're just kind of probably, I think, in all the like mushy honeymoon phases this episode. So like I said before, I apologize that there's not too much to recap on yet. Hopefully the drama picks up, because I was waiting for them to get out of the pods for the drama to pick up, but I guess that probably won't happen until everybody starts seeing each other. Lauren and Dave are sitting down discussing how they slept last night, and Lauren says that it takes a lot for her to be able to connect to somebody physically and emotionally, and Dave said he's the same way too, and that in today's age you just kind of hear about somebody or see somebody and then you look them up on Instagram and you find out so much information that you don't even bother pursuing them. And he says that it's kind of wild to think about how there's probably so many people passing up on connections that could be good for them just based off of the way things work in today's universe. Then they head on over to a dunk tank, and Lauren gets Dave in on the second try. They don't show Lauren sitting in the dunk tank though. Okay, since they're doing like quick little clips to just, I guess, show how everybody's doing and everybody's still in their little honeymoon phases, I'm gonna keep combining a couple. Sarah and Ben are on a boat, and they hop off and go diving, but while they're sitting on the boat, Ben says, "Oh yeah, nobody in my family and nobody in my life is going to believe that love is blind, because they're going to say, look at you, you're a total smoke show." And he's like, then I'll have to be like, no, I fell in love with her without seeing her, but if she annoys me, then the looks will work now. And yeah, so they go diving and swimming and all that, and that water in Honduras looks absolutely gorgeous. It's like picture perfect, beautiful. I am so jealous. I wish I got to see a beach that looked like that. Then we bounce over to Taylor and Daniel, and they take a seat on the dock. Taylor brings up that she still feels really bad for accusing him of having followed her on Instagram before. And she says that if she could go back, she would do that a lot differently. But Daniel reassures her that she handled it the best way that she probably could have, and that he would have felt all the same things that she felt if the roles were reversed. And he tells her that this is definitely definitely not a setback for the relationship. It's something that will bring them closer together in the end, and it was a glimpse at how they'll handle problems in the future. And Taylor thanks him for being so patient with her, and she says that he always says the right thing to her and that nobody's ever spoken to her as kindly and as sweetly as Daniel does. And then she almost starts crying. So they have a cheers and they sit back and enjoy Honduras. We move over to Joey and Monica, and they're sitting down sharing a dessert. And there's a little fireplace decoration in the wall. It's not lit or anything, and the logs are off center. So Joey asks Monica if it bothers her that they're all kind of sitting more to the right. And Monica said it wouldn't have bothered her if he didn't point it out because she wouldn't have even noticed, which leads Joey into talking about his struggles with OCD, which we didn't even know about that. I'm sure we didn't even hear about that. He said that he used to count pretty much anything and everything imaginable, like his steps and how many times he tapped something, and he said that when he would hold something or touch something, his pointer finger always had to be the last finger to touch it. He said that it would get worse in situations like where his sister went to the hospital, and it's true. He brings up the fact of he thinks it was a control thing, like he felt out of control and everything around him was chaotic and it was a means of controlling something. From what I've seen and heard and watched and read about OCD, it very much is your brain trying to give yourself a sense of control over something, and especially when you're living in situations where you feel like you're not in control of anything that's happening around you. And he says that the doctors wanted to medicate him on it, but he first wanted to try to overcome it on his own. So he went through a lot of exposure therapy and things like that to work on managing his OCD by himself. And I mean, it seems that he's overcame it. I'm sure those thoughts are still there, bringing up the fireplace. And I'm sure he probably still sometimes has an urge to count things, or, I could be wrong, but I'm sure that that's something that probably never just fully leaves. I feel like your brain could probably always go back to that point. But yeah, he seems to have done a great job. Virginia and Devin are sitting by the pool, and they keep bringing up how they're just so similar to each other and they're so comfortable with each other now and happy to be together. At one point, Virginia's like, we have all the same swimwear. And I was going to comment on that in the first scene where they go and get massages. I was like, damn, they're matching. Did they buy those outfits here or did they pack those? Apparently, they just had the same swimwear, and then they get in the pool for a little bit and they're pretty much wearing matching bathing suits then too. And I'm like, if this is a coincidence, it's kind of nuts. We end the episode with Dave and Lauren on a boat. They talk about how easy it's been between them so far, and Dave says there's nothing that Lauren has done that would make him think, oh no, this is too much, I can't deal with this for the rest of my life. Then at one point, Dave makes a shitty joke about Lauren's hair, and it's just because I just really don't like this guy. Something in my core is this guy is just a douche. But I really think he needs to work on the jokes he makes, because he makes his jokes from a very nasty or insensitive place most of the time. And it's that could just be his humor, but I don't care for it. I don't care for his humor. I don't care for the jokes that he makes. I think they're pretty shitty. Then we find out that two of the people that Lauren had been casually dating before coming to Love is Blind are people that Dave knows. I guess they didn't really say that he's buddies with these people or anything, but they're definitely mutuals of his that he sees semi-regularly, it seems. One, she said that he sees at the pool all the time, which I don't know. I don't know if that's a pool in his wherever he lives. I have no fucking clue. But he knows two of the people that Lauren was talking to before coming here. Lauren says that it was a few months before she went here, and she said that the process for this show was long. So when she was talking to this guy, she wanted to see if he would be something she wanted to work on long term with, because if so, then she doesn't really need to come here and try to find a fiance. And Dave says he struggles with that because he says that if you were just seriously dating, or just in relationships, why are you so ready to just jump to marriage in the next one? Because he said that he was under the impression that it was going to be more like people like him who haven't dated for 4 years, who may need more of an extra, I guess, like nudge or a little extra help finding the person that's right for them. He didn't think that it was just going to be people who are dating regularly. He said to Lauren that even Molly's being 6 months ago seemed a little short of a time span to be dating somebody and then coming to this experiment, in his opinion. And Lauren says, which was on my mind too, Lauren says, I thought Molly said she never had a boyfriend. And Dave said that apparently it was just some on and off thing. I don't know. Then Dave asks, well, I think Lauren asks him, are you nervous about talking to Molly? And Dave says, it's something I've been thinking about. It's going to happen. And then the episode abruptly cuts. So maybe once Molly gets into the mix, we'll start having a little bit more drama. That's all for episode 7. Just as I thought, it was really not too much drama, not too much to really comment on other than to just quick recap it. I guess it's because, of course, they just want to show us a bunch of clips of everybody being happy and ecstatic with each other in a literal paradise. So I can't wait until people start finally meeting other people, because I'm like, we need to get this ball rolling. Something has got to happen here. They better bring in the next cast members like next episode. I need some turmoil and I need it right now. As always, thanks for being here and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.